Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So it is a Chris from Cypher Sigma screen time here and a weekend, and you know what it is. So we've kind of had to mix it up just with Christmas and everything. So obviously this goes on a Sunday rather than I do normally Saturdays. It's my predominant day for movie reviews. So yes, so Zootopia. So me, my wife, and my in-laws went to see this Christmas Eve. So this is a tradition. We kind of have to go to a cinema and then get takeaway. Zootopia 2 or Zootopia, I think it is in America sometimes. It's 1 hour and 48 minutes long, if I can get my words out. Anybody who hasn't seen the first one, you would kind of need to. This is set a week after the first events. So Judy Hobbs and Nick Wilder, Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman return as the main characters of this. Nick is basically a criminal, Judy is a police officer, and they fought a crime in the first one. As a result of this, Nick is then deputized as a police officer, and now these two become kind of the new partners, but they are the interns, they are the new kids still, essentially, compared to all the other teams of officers that they play against in this movie, but they want to go, they still feel that they have to prove themselves because obviously they are the butt of the joke. Due to them trying to foil a importing heist, they come across essentially evidence that a snake could have been there, and then this all revolves around the Lynx, who created the walls that bridge all the different realms of Zootopia. So you have the heat, cold, and everything else like this. They created it, and the granddad of the current Lynx's his journal is on display, essentially, and there is a rumor like 100 years ago that his predecessor was killed by a snake or a reptile. I think it was a snake. A snake killed a turtle, and basically they've been outlawed since, and we don't see snakes. And obviously this snake is now, or evidence of a snake. The snake is called Gary. He's played by Ki-Hu Hwan. And then basically it's the story of them figuring out why is it a snake. It is a snake, Gary, obviously, and why he's here. And there's kind of an plot, so to speak, that is going on. So you should whack up the spoiler review. There isn't really, there is something at the end. So at the very end, there is a very little clip. If you want to wait around the cinema, it doesn't give away much. Essentially, it is Judy Hobbs on a window ledge and a feather falls down, which is everyone speculating that birds, because we don't see birds in 1 or 2 Zootopia, that we'll see birds in Zootopia 3, because this has done really well. I think it's done over 1 billion so far. So we shall get into it. So as I said, spoiler review is up. Sorry, doing that twice. So yes, so we've had a few other members join the cast as well, which I will mention as we go on. So yes, so obviously Judy and Nick Hobbs, Nick Wilder basically try to, the new kids on the block, they set up with Elphinnick. Obviously the voice actor of Elphinnick has passed, so he doesn't do much to stop this import. One, because they believe that this person is illegally importing items in the crate or in the van that they get. Judy finds evidence that there could be a snake or a reptile that was there, and links to this Lynx journal. So what she does is she goes undercover with Nick, because they unfortunately make a bit of mess of trying to stop this plot of importing. They are then put on a duty to go cancelling, and until they go cancelling, they can't really be in the field. But obviously they go against this. They go undercover, go into the gala when this journal is online, because in the crate they found a pamphlet which basically said linked to this. When they get there, they meet, this is where they meet Gary. Gary does steal the journal and the links, tries to escape, and then he's basically cornered by the Lynx dad, Milton, played by David Stratham, and his 2 eldest kids. Then basically as they manage to knock him out, or Nick knocks him out, the Lynx basically say like, oh, he'll ruin everything, they'll try and kill him. And this is where Judy starts to realise that something is going on. They escape with Gary and then become fugitives, and this is where then the rest of the movie goes. You come along that the youngest son of the Lynxes, so Paul Burt, played by Andy Samberg, he is in league with Gary. They're trying to overthrow, trying to find the journal. And what this journal basically exposes is that it's believed that the snakes were actually the creators of the wall, not the Lynxes. The Lynxes set the snakes up, and this is where they're, and basically due to this deal being agreed to in the journal, the very first page was cut out, and that actually has the snake's agreement on it. And if they can find where that was and the snake's ancestor, Gary's ancestor, hid it, then obviously they can bring peace to it. And obviously the lynx are the evil guys in this. But obviously poor Bert, their youngest son, is helping Gary. So this is where you go on this wild ride around Zootopia. Obviously Judy and that are trying to find reptiles, and they are directed to Fortune Femister's Nibble Mabblesticks. She lives in kind of this swamp area, which we find out is then going to be reconverted for the lynxes. This is why the police are constantly following Judy and Nick. As they go along the line, obviously they come across Gary and they come across Paulbert, and they make friends with it. Obviously realise Gary has a special ability. That's why he can see the hidden map that's within the journal front cover, and it shows obviously where his grandma used to live, and that's where they're basically going to get to, which ends up being part of the lynx's home world, or home section between their walls, but it's all covered in ice, and obviously Gary can't do that. This ends up being in the factory. They get to a power station to light up the lighthouse, which basically was the epicenter of what the reptiles used to be, and that will basically direct them in the snow area where to go. In between this, Paulbert is then discovered to actually be a plant. He is there to basically find a journal to destroy it so he can be in league with his parents, and that does the old twisteroo, so to speak. Stabs them on the back, stabs Judy with poison, goes after Nick. He's kind of thwarted, but still on his way to do the journal. They obviously get there, find the paper, and then obviously the lynxes are arrested. Patrick Warburton there is the mayor, and he's kind of in league with the lynxes to a degree through most of the movie. And that's it, kind of in a nutshell, as I say, and then the extra bit after the end foreshadows what we feel will be the third movie, which is obviously Birds. And so what I think, so I really enjoyed this movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's a good enough movie. With the first one, I think the first and second one, you can both really, really enjoy them. Obviously, this is now a franchise. Obviously, when it becomes a franchise, my rating goes down a little bit because you kind of need to see the first one to understand the second one. Obviously, they include characters like Flash and the really slow sloth who can drive really fast. There's a lot of little jokes in there. There's some that they missed out on, I feel, because I like little puns and dad jokes and stuff like this. So I think that would have been really good if they'd added a bit more. Shakira returns as Giselle, and she has this zoo song, which is a little bit like her Africa football theme. Has a few kind of very much on the same pace as that. Really catchy song, really enjoyed it. So really characters. Some bits were like, okay, this is story and stuff like this, and didn't quite land, and so you could kind of see where the jokes were coming. Some you couldn't. The good twist by Paul, but betraying them with Andy Samberg, I thought was good. Having the lynx as the bad guys and everything, most of the story is really enjoyable. It wasn't too complex. I didn't really see it coming, but very enjoyable for a kid audience and a kid kind of adult audience, what Disney are themed to. So thoroughly enjoyed this. I can see why it's done really well. If you like the first one, you'll definitely like the second one. There's nothing really for you to hate on. As I say, the CG is really good. The story's entertaining enough and keep you, as I say, it's under 2 hours, so you're not like getting bored in your seat. There's enough intervals of comedy and other stuff that keep you entertained. So that has been my review of Zootopia 2. Have you seen this movie? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. Do you think it's worth its hype? Obviously, will this be the highest grossing movie by the end of the year? Will Avatar overbeat it? We shall see. We've still obviously got the best part of a week before the new year happens. I've been Chris from Cypher Sigma Screen Time. Appreciate you watching this video and everything, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.